Hey, you guys, welcome back in the building. This is a bit more of a spontaneous live. I felt or I had the desire to do this, and I think some of you guys may be feeling the same way in terms of just trying to break down kind of how the last week went. And there were so many emotions involved yesterday. Obviously, it went the opposite of how we would have wanted it to go, but I just felt, that we should talk a little bit about kind of the how we feel, what we have to fight for still in this season, because I've seen a lot of rival fans talking after yesterday. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, our season's over, this and that. Guys, there is still so much to look forward to. And I just felt we needed to put some perspective because I just saw so much negativity after yesterday or after this past week that I want us to simply freaking look at this, and even some rival fans, because obviously we got knocked out of the Champions League and lost in a final within the same week. So many people were saying, this Liverpool team isn't good. Oh, look, they bottled the quadruple, they bottled the treble, this and that. Nah, like I don't care if the Premier League maybe isn't as competitive as usual seasons. Just look at our points tally. The fact that from 29 games, as you can see, we have 70 points. We've lost once all season. If the Premier League really wasn't that competitive this year, then why couldn't another team have a record like that if it was that easy? You know what I mean? And that's why when people discredit this team, that's where it really gets on my nerves. It really gets on my nerves because to me, there is a lot of positives when you look at our league campaign. I understand the rest, okay? Completely understand. But I just feel as if we have to put a bit more perspective on it, and that's why, at least for me, like I want to be able to move on from that past week and have positive building, positive energy in the building. M says a lot of positive people here. Y'all act like Liverpool wins the league every other year. Exactly. Soul Sniper says I'm still in depression phase. Hello, Elena. Nice to see you in the building. Manus, nice to see you as well. Yeah, so obviously not great. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Obviously not great, but the thing is, when I do put perspective on our season, that's when I feel a whole lot better, and that's kind of that's the type of energy I wanted to share with you guys, because I still think we've had an unbelievable league campaign, and now, it's not like the league is done by any means, but now we're going to be fully focused one game at a time, and the one that we get to face coming back from the international break is going to be a special one as well, against Everton, Merseyside derby. Nighttime kickoff at Anfield. I think it'll be really special, really special. I don't even think we were expected to win a treble. Honestly, I think that's rival fans. For me, that's rival fans that we're just trying to mount pressure to be able to knock us down after. I don't think any Liverpool fan expected a treble or quadruple or whatever. I just know I was like, let's take it one game at a time. Let's see how things go. And like I said, I just look at that league table. I look at our record, and I'm like, that's the perspective I think we need right now, because it hurts. Of course it hurts, Obviously it hurts, but I think that's what we need to have a look at, because it has been a really special campaign in the Premier League, which the last few years, every Liverpool fan agrees is the one that we want the most. And look at where we are in that way. One loss. Mohammed, I'm sorry to hear that. Theo says people don't understand how amazing winning the league is in your first season as manager. Not even first season as manager, in general. The fact that Jurgen Klopp just won it once. And I know you could say there was no prime Pep, there was no prime City this year, whatever. It doesn't matter. A league title is still a league title. It doesn't matter. And like I said, when you look at our record, wow, do we deserve to be in the position that we're in, Of course we do. Finney, nice to see you in the building, who says, just got back from London. That's why I wasn't in the building yesterday. Sorry, Leo. Forget about yesterday. Win number 20 now. Absolutely. Zichin says, Leo, honestly, don't listen to the rival fans. They're just jealous that their prediction of us not winning the Prem is gone. I blame Slot for this, but he's on the verge of winning the league and a cup finalist. Zachary says, I definitely agree. We are 12 points at the top right now. Let's stay focused now after the international break. People are saying we bottled the treble. People thought we wouldn't even be top four. Exactly. Exactly, exactly. Tommy Hileo couldn't agree with you more. Big up Tommy in the building. Adi says, "Bro, my only concern is the passion. I never saw Liverpool so passionless." So here's something too that I've been thinking about. I agree that for me, what was most disappointing about the result is the lack of desire from us, And I do think though now that some of that emotion is away, I think it was probably us being worn out and tired more than that sheer desire because again, we wouldn't be where we are in the league this season. We wouldn't have gone as far as we have this season if this team lacked like desire in their mentality. That's impossible. And this is not me trying to make up excuses. I just think it's a major lesson learned for our manager, for our coaching staff, for this team that you have to rotate more over the course of this season. You have to because you could tell how tired, especially our midfield three, how little have we rotated. I don't get how Wataru Endo hasn't played more this season. That midfield three, we know when they're fresh and they're on it, is up there with the best, right? Maka, Gravenberg, and Sobo. But clearly, they were really, really tired. And that's why for me, I actually don't think I can put it down. Like in that moment, yes, the only emotion I could feel is like the desire is not there. Newcastle want it more. And fair play, I said fair play, like Newcastle freaking deserve it, right? But thinking now, it really seems to me that tiredness, exhaustion was played a major role, and that's why like we're gonna be learning a whole lot. We're gonna learn a whole lot because yeah, I think one of the things that we saw and maybe we saw this in previous seasons too is just playing the same players every 3 days. Of course, at some point it's just gonna be too much. Of course, at some point it's gonna be too much. So yeah, exactly. Klopp lost his first final too. Absolutely. Yes, I did go to the Lille Dortmund game. The atmosphere was unbelievable. I mean, it's not even feels. I think one of the learning, like I said, learning lessons, and that's the beauty, the fact that we could win the trophy we want the most, and yet learn a whole lot from our season. I think Slot will see. Oh yeah, in the future, I'm gonna need to rotate a lot more. I can't use the same starting 11 week in week out with the intensity at that highest level. You know what I mean? But I also think something for us to look forward to is this summer we're going to strengthen in a real major way. Fabrizio Romano put out a YouTube video today and he said that this is going to be a huge summer for us. There's going to be a lot of changes within our squad. Players will leave, which will open up funds. The likes of, two of these three attackers will very likely leave. So Lucho, Darwin, and Jota, two of the three will likely leave, bringing in high amounts of money. And it seems like our two number one targets are Julian Alvarez from Atletico and obviously Isaac, who scored yesterday. So though if we can get either one of those targets from the money that we'd get from selling a Darwin and a Jota, let's say, imagine how much that would strengthen us. So there definitely will be a lot of changes to come in the summer. And in our fullback department too. It seems like we're gonna look for a center back for the future, a left back, and a right back if Trent ends up leaving. And it seems like Frimpong could be the type of signing that maybe we go for because he's gonna be available. He's gonna be available. Rival fans need to calm down, and in his first season to win the league is wow. Rival fan, yeah, exactly, Joseph. Barry says every single year, just keep lying. We're having a busy summer. Barry, here's the difference. I'm not saying there's a crazy chests of money that FSG have set aside for us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're selling a lot of players this summer, which will open up a lot of funds. You cannot tell me that in the past when we've sold, we haven't bought. Okay? This summer, we're going to sell big time. I think just selling, let's say, a Lucho, Darwin, and a Kelleher, those three could bring us 150 million, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that there's a crazy chest of money waiting, like I said. I genuinely think it's more so And yes, we are going to sign a new striker. 100% we're going to sign a new striker. More so funds that are going to open up from the players leaving. That's where I fully know that we're going to have a very big summer, and learn a lot from this season. This first time at the highest elite level that Slot is a football manager. And like we're saying, he could go on to win the trophy we all wanted the most while still learning all those lessons and stumbling along the way. So there's so much to be optimistic about, I'm telling you. Big up, Sean. Thank you for the support. I agree. We need to play Chiesa and Harvey Elliott more now till the end of the season. 100%. Samin says Leo Slot has played the first 11 down to the ground completely. Completely. Yeah, that's very cool, Lena. That Merseyside derby is going to be so important on that Wednesday night. Sofia Costa says, thanks, Leo. Needed this. Both teams deserve to beat us, which sucked. But I felt so positive yesterday, to be honest. Slot's first season, and we're winning the league. I couldn't be prouder right now, but need a break. Yeah, and it like you say, it feels like the international break is coming at the perfect time. The only thing is, I don't think we can say we're winning the league just yet. Let's mathematically get the job done because we haven't yet. So that's not over. But yeah, this international break couldn't come at a better time. Hopefully, a lot of these players get the rest, especially mental rest. As much as the physical rest of that same starting 11 that we've been discussing that just keeps being played all the time, and regroup. Because this last bit of the season could be dreamland for all of us. You know what I mean? And that's what I think about. That's it. No, Palmeiras lost for you too. God, Elena, that's tough. That's real tough. Alvarez is not a complete striker. Are you kidding? Arfan, he is such a complete striker. Have you seen the work Alvarez does off the ball, his pressing, his link up play, and you see his goal scoring? Bro, Alvarez, I do not agree. He's top, and I could really see him fitting Liverpool style of play. Now, I would be so happy if we got Julian Alvarez, but again, he would probably be 100 million plus player like Isaac would be. But like I told you guys, yo, Vesh Giraffe, nice to see you in the building. I hope you're doing okay. And Claudia, nice to see you too. But yeah, like I said, it seems like if we sell Darwin to Saudi, the price would be between 70 to 80 million. So imagine how much money that would bring in. You know what I mean? Mister, there's positives and negatives to FSG. So it's not an answer where you say yes or no. You know what I mean? It's a lot more complex than that. But like I said, when we do sell players, that's when we bring in players. And that's what I think will happen this summer. Adi says, how do you think we can replace Trent? Can we rely on Bradley? We definitely have to bring in another player. Bradley can't be our only option at right back. That's not possible. Someone like Frimpong. I was speaking to my boy Chris this morning, who watches a lot of the Bundesliga. He's German, and he thinks Frimpong would be a top signing for us. He's apparently available for 40 million euros this summer, which is not that expensive, for the caliber of talent that he is. And he thinks he would be a top signing for Liverpool. So imagine our two right back options could be Frimpong and Connor Bradley next season. That would be special. Really special. We'll definitely be back, Joseph. 100%. 100%. Miki, that's the thing. We just have to focus on the next game, the Merseyside derby. As fans, we have to give it any fan that's going to Anfield that night in our next game has to give it absolutely everything. Same with the players, and that's all we can think about. Not, how many points do we need, this and that. Just what do we need to do to win the next game? That's it. That's the only way. What's up, GMA? Nice to see you in the building again. Fesh Giraffe says, "Do you think our midfield is complete, or do you think we should improve on the midfield?" I think our midfield's incredible, but I was just saying it's been run to the ground, and it's so clear to see that they were just so tired, especially like a Gravenberg. Think about how much we've had to rely on him with no real backup. We need to have more depth in that area so that in certain games we can give them a rest, and there isn't a major downgrade in our team, and so yeah, I think we all know how good that midfield three is, but again, yesterday you could tell they weren't themselves. Why? Tiredness, mental and physical. It was so clear to see that they've just been run into the ground. So clear to see. Happy St. Patrick's Day, yeah. Yeah, Barca, bro, Barca, I think probably are the favorites to win the Champions League this season. And it seems like we could really see El Clasico final. I could see Real Madrid going all the way on that side of the bracket, and then Barcelona on the other side going all the way. So that would be crazy if we saw an El Clasico final. Imagine Kirkez and Sobo. Yeah, I would love Kirkez. Fabrizio Romano also said today that he's like our top left back option, but we're gonna have other options there too, probably like Jorel Hato from Ajax as well. Yeah, Rayan, it seems like two of those three I was saying before could leave. That's what I was saying before. That's what I was saying before. Leo Slot reaching a final and winning the Premier League in his first season is actually great for any manager, completely. I mean, reaching a final, I wouldn't say as much more winning the Premier League, because to reach a final is great and all, but what matters is winning it, But still, like you say, the good thing about still reaching a final and losing it is how much you learn from that experience. Jurgen Klopp is always the one. He obviously has lost many finals in his managerial career. Was he a decent manager? Yeah, I'd say he was pretty good. Jurgen Klopp was not bad, and he lost his fair share of finals. So, and he always said like it's from those losses that he learned the most. And we obviously had a lot of setbacks. So definitely there would have been a lot that Slot learned at the highest level, like I said, and we can only improve from that. Wow, Fejderafin. I don't know much about him, but if he's one of the best DMs in the city, I wouldn't be against it. you know, I wouldn't be against it. That's for sure. Mauricio, I think it could be El Clasico Champions League final. That seems most likely, because in a semi-final, I see Real Madrid going through, and then Barcelona looks so strong. They just beat Atletico 4-2 yesterday, coming back. Their attack just looks crazy. Their front three, especially the wingers. Rafinha and Yamal are on fire this season. Yeah, Aaron says, I think this time every year Salah seems to get tired. People seem to forget about Ramadan. And also, I'm going to be making a video on this later. The fact that we're so over reliant on him, and if I'm up against Liverpool like Newcastle were yesterday, I would literally, my sole goal would be to nullify Mohamed Salah. I would say let's put two players on Salah. If he doesn't get involved, that's the majority of Liverpool's attacking threat out of the window. And I think every team is going to try to do that. So we can't be so over reliant on Mohamed Salah, and that's why I can't blame him. I can't blame him because he didn't even get a single shot yesterday, which almost never happens for him. And I think that's also, you have to say fair play to Newcastle, for that. The fact that Salah couldn't get into the game at all whatsoever. All three, I speak about that in the beginning of this live. Mehe says, in my opinion, people are making fun of Liverpool because of how good we did this season. Arne is about to win his first title in his first year, and it took 4 years. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is this is obviously a much stronger squad, but nevertheless, it's still winning a Premier League title, which would be so huge. Pedri too, bro, yeah. Pedri has been crazy as well. So that's why I think Barca on that side of the bracket will go to the final. And yeah, and probably Real Madrid on the other side. So it really wouldn't surprise me if it was an El Clasico final, this Champions League, which would be insane. Chocorito says Chiesa proved himself in my opinion. He deserves to play up top until we sign a new striker in the summer. I would love to see it happen, but I doubt it. I feel like after this international break, Cody Gakpo will be back fully fit, because he'll have time then. I think we could see that front three again of Gakpo on the left, Lucho down the middle, and Salah on the right, because that seems to be when we were at our best this season. It seems like that was the front three that Slot trusted. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the front three he went for against Everton. It would not surprise me. And Harvey Elliott, Harvey Elliott has to play more too. We can't lose a talent like that. And if he doesn't see a path into getting first team football minutes, then I could understand why in the summer he would want to leave, So I really hope we don't lose a talent like that who has so much desire to make it a Liverpool Football Club, because of how much he loves the club. King Kenny, I think it's gonna be Lucho. I think against Everton, Slot is gonna go for that front three that I'm telling you that Slot seems to rate the most, which is Gakpo on the left, Lucho down the middle, and Salah on the right. Now that Gakpo is gonna be back fully fit, he'll have time during this international break to work on his fitness. Yes, absolute Mula, my brother. Hope you're doing great. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, bro, I'm just trying to spread some positivity after the setbacks that we felt this week. Mauricio, it depends on whether it's possible to get tickets because I heard prices for the 2026 World Cup are going to be crazy. So it all depends on what the prices would be. Yeah, I'm not sure, Barry. I'm not sure. But apparently, Slot at Feyenoord did something similar where he didn't rotate his team much. But what's changed drastically that here is it's a different level to what Feyenoord are competing for in the Eredivisie in terms of intensity. You know. Yeah, I think if we sign the Crystal Palace center back, I think it would be for a cheap-ish price because he only has 1 year left on his contract from the summer. That's where I heard the rumors, at least. That makes sense, but I also do think Gakpo is a bigger threat on the left. Yeah, that's why I think he will start on the left against Everton. Isaac or Alvarez, I think I'd have to go for Isaac. Seeing him again yesterday, he's a handful. He's a handful. And you could see in big games he scores, you know what I mean? And that's invaluable. So yeah. Absolute Muller says I'm also trying to spread positivity towards you. Big up, I appreciate that, brother. That's tough. Are you gonna stream the Real Madrid Arsenal? Yes, Elena. Yes. But that's not like for until after the international break. I think the game's on April 4th, isn't it? I think it's on April 4th. No, April 8th. Arsenal Real Madrid. That's on April 8th, so it's not for a while. It's not for a while. It's a few days after the Merseyside derby, the midweek. Do you think Man City will qualify for the Champions League? Yeah, I think so. Remember, the top five spots in the Premier League this season gets you Champions League. So yeah, I think so. I really do think so. We're exactly, Joseph. Exactly. Will Chiesa get the Premier League medal? He still needs a few more games, So yeah, I hope he gets enough games. I hope he gets enough games. Hecker, I never even mentioned Arsenal once this live stream. But I guess you want me to mention your club now. I literally hadn't said Arsenal once, but it just shows. Oh yeah, I guess we're just streaming the Real Madrid game, but I wasn't talking about Arsenal otherwise. Chocorito says, to be honest, I love Diogo Jota. However, I do think we can't always trust him on that striker position on his own since he doesn't have that modern electric vibe towards him like Isaac or Lucho. Yeah, and, returning from that injury, I think it's been a little tough for him returning from that injury. That's the other thing. Yeah, Joseph, anyone at the beginning of the season would have said the dream would have been the Premier League. You know what I mean? Everybody would have said that. So that's the perspective I think we have to remember, We have to be mindful of. The minimum for exactly the minimum is 5 appearances in the Premier League, and I think Chiesa's on 3 or something, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3. So he still needs a few more to be able to get a medal. Yeah, Joe Linton was top yesterday. That's the type of passion we needed. Yeah, Isaac. Fair play though. If I'm scoring in a cup final, I'm celebrating like Isaac. Are you freaking kidding me? Especially given how much it means to the city of Newcastle, to the fans and everything. I would be celebrating like crazy. Let's be real. Something's wrong if you're not. Mauricio, I think it's the number one thing is the team being overplayed and tiredness, exhaustion more than anything. Because without starting 11, we know if they were fully rested at their best, let's say, for example, that midfield 3, we know how good they can be. And that's the main reason, I think, at least. No, I don't think it was a red, Joseph. I think it was almost borderline, but I think if it was the other way, I wouldn't want that to be a red. But it's definitely a yellow and borderline. Very borderline, for sure. For sure. Remember though, Stefan Bajetic is coming back next season, and I'm hearing that he's doing really well in La Liga for Las Palmas. So hopefully Stefan Bajetic comes back and he can be as good of a player as he was for us before, because I rate him so highly. I don't know about you guys, but if Slot decides that he's a player for his system, oh my, I would be excited to see Bajetic back for us. Because I would get so excited when he played in that season. Remember when we were going through that injury crisis? Fravis, I did sleep well, thank you. How did you sleep? Because I was so exhausted. I was so exhausted after the emotions of the last week. You know what I mean? I would take Ederson for sure. But the thing is, questionable 11 LFC, it's going to be tough. Whatever kind of midfielder we sign, I don't think he can be a starting midfielder, at least for defensive mid, because Gravenberg's made that position his own. So I think it probably would be more like a young one that is developed or something, because we have the experience in Endo, and then we have Gravenberg, obviously, who like is a must starter. He's been that good under Slot. So the midfield, it's going to be a little bit tough who that player is. But honestly, Bajetic, I want to see him back. I really do. And I haven't been watching all the Las Palmas games, but he's been starting for them, and he's great. Really great. Yeah, Chelsea, 100%. But I woke up looking at the league table, and it made me feel a whole lot better. It made me feel a whole lot better. Do you think Salah still has a chance for the Balon d'Or? It's a lot less likely for sure. It's a lot less likely. But I was saying it the other day, it all depends on, I think, whichever of the La Liga clubs can win the Champions League and La Liga. So whether it be Real Madrid or Barcelona, then I think whatever team wins, if a team can win both, and as of right now, it looks like Barcelona is more likely to win both because they're top of La Liga and they've played one game less than Real Madrid. So let's say Barcelona go on to win the Spanish league, and let's say they also go on to win the Champions League. Then I think obviously it would go to either Pedri, Yamal, or Rafinha. Rafinha is probably, the favorite. So it all depends. Or let's say, for example, Real Madrid win the Champions League, Barcelona win La Liga, and Salah continues to have a crazy end of the season. Then I think he has a shout. Why? Because I don't think you can say Rafinha deserves it over him if he didn't win the Champions League anyways. You know what I mean? And then I don't think you can say Real Madrid necessarily a Real Madrid player either because they didn't win La Liga. So I think it all depends on what those Spanish teams do, because we know that even though the Balon d'Or is an individual award, it really does matter what trophies you win. And I think if you get that big double, so your domestic league and the Champions League, that puts you in pole position. So if it's Real Madrid, it would be Mbappe. And then, like I said, if it's Barcelona, I think it would be Pedri, Yamal, or Rafinha. So that's where we can't know, but definitely it's less likely now. We can't hide away from that fact. But for anyone saying, "Oh, Salah can't win it anymore," that's just not true. It's just not true, because you look at the individual season he's having in the Premier League, and if we go on to win it and he keeps putting up crazy numbers, it would be a historical season in the in such a competitive league, So that wouldn't get discounted. So we'll see. That's why it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Champions League. It will be. Salah should 100% stay. And we need to 100%, which we will do in the summer, sign top attacking players to help him out, because we can't only rely on Mohamed Salah in the big moments. It's too easy to play against. We can't do that. Chocorito says, as a Colombian myself, I really love Lucho and I don't understand the hate he's getting, and people say he needs to leave. He's a great winger and tries to create chances and all game like against Southampton. Yeah, what is true though is in recent times he hasn't been playing well enough, and he needs to step up his game. But I also think that's because, again, I think he's been run into the ground too, where we're so dependent, and he's played so many minutes that I think he also just he doesn't seem like himself, that he seems really tired as well, Kamal, nice to see you in the building, who says, hey Leo, really gutted after yesterday's loss, but I think this break will help us get back to form completely, because we haven't been good the last few weeks, not just the results from last week. You'll Never Walk Alone says, Chiesa is the difference. We need to guide us home in the run-in. We should get 5 wins in 9 matches to get the Prem confirmed, and that is if Arsenal win all their remaining games. Well said. Haim Kong, nice to see you in the building as well, who says, Leo, I'm really disappointed, really, but we have to fight for the title now. Exactly. That has to be our sole kind of perspective and focus now, completely. Which is very, very exciting, to be fair. Very, very exciting. Yeah, go 12, but 2013, during the Messi and Ronaldo days, I don't know if we can compare that to what we're seeing in modern day. The Messi and Ronaldo days, that was a different planet, I think, caliber of player. I think we have to say, But like I said, I definitely think it's still possible for him. Less likely, but definitely possible. Will Chiesa be a starter? We don't know. It's impossible to say. It's impossible to say. I can't understand, though, why he hasn't been getting more chances. I'm not even saying to start, just off the bench. Now that he's fully fit and with the quality that we know he has, I'm surprised he's not getting more opportunities, I gotta be honest. Really surprised. But hopefully, the fact that he scored this goal in the final and everything is going to mean that he gets more chances, That's what I'm really hopeful of right now. Chocorito says, yeah, makes sense, especially when Lucho was getting criticized for his performances at striker out of position. We played every game. He played every game up top, but he didn't play his entire career, but did all right. Yeah. Yeah, Mountain Edits. We knew that already, though, that Darwin's expected to leave in the summer. That wasn't news, really. the main news is the Isaac news. The fact that it looks like we're really gonna push hard for Isaac this summer, and or Alvarez, and then there's chances that Lucho could leave in the summer as well. So we have to see. We have to see for all of that. Aaron says you need two major trophies or the Champions League to win. Rodri last year, PL and Euros. I don't completely agree. I would agree. I would agree if I would agree if there was an international competition this summer like a Euros or a World Cup, but there isn't. So, nah, I don't agree. Except, like I said, except, like I said, if Barcelona do the big double or Real Madrid do the big double, which is still possible for both teams. They have a lot to fight for. Him Kong, yes, but at the same time, we can't solely depend on one attacker for us to score goals. That's just not possible. You know what I mean? And it's asking too much of Salah, and we've just been asking that of him week in week out the entire season, and it's just too much. You know, he's human at the end of the day. He didn't look human for up until now, and now for the first time he looks human. You know what I mean? Love that, Elena. See, that's exactly what the point of this live was, to help us calm down and just have a bit of perspective. But unfortunately, you guys, I actually have to leave because I have football right now. I have a football game that's about a 45-minute bike ride away. So I'm going to start biking now to go. So this was always going to be kind of a quick live, but I just wanted us to have a bit of a chat, you know, because there were so many emotions involved last week, and now we're going to head into the international break, so we're going to take a little bit time away from football, you know. But just know the next video that's coming out, and Him Kong, you were talking about, the one that I'm going to be prepping is around Mohamed Salah and the criticism that he's received. So yeah, you guys, as always, I really appreciate you guys and your positive energy and you guys being in the building. And you know, I'm sorry that this past week didn't go the way that we would have wanted, but football or life would not be fun if you always won, you know? And thankfully, we have something hopefully come towards the end of the season to celebrate. And I think it's going to feel so special because, again, of the ups and downs that we've faced this season, that we felt. You know, this past week was obviously more of a down, but we've also had a lot of ups this season, you know, especially in the league. So, yeah, just like in life, I think we have to embrace all those emotions, and now we just have to look forward because there's a lot of things to look forward to, you know, and I can't wait for the Merseyside derby, but I also can't wait for us to take a little bit of a break, you know, because the team needs it. I think us, the fans, need it after all that we felt, you know, but yeah, you guys, I wish you all the very best. I know I'm going to run my heart out right now in this football game that I'm going to play because of the frustrations felt. Big up, Finn. Thank you. And yeah, to let out the frustrations. Play like Soboslai. I would like to play more like Isaac did yesterday. But yeah, this season you're talking about. But yeah, you guys, trust me. We're going to bounce back. Trust me. And we'll go again. So I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, you guys. Look out for a video. The next video that's going to come out is going to be around Mohamed Salah. And yeah, you guys, I appreciate all of you as always. You'll never walk alone, and I'll see you guys.